Hey, good evening, everyone. You're with Tom from Ludicrous Feed, and you are with our guests, Rahul Prasad and Riz. Hello, gents. How are you this evening?
Going well, Tom.
I'm
Very
good,
good.
Tom and Riz. Thank you.
Thanks, Rahul. Thank you, Riz, for joining us tonight. We are just doing a very short live stream tonight. We're going to talk about the new servicing schedule that was released by EV Direct, or otherwise known as BYD Automotive, very soon on the BYD Atto 3. That's caused a bit of a stir in the BYD Australia community. And we'll go through that tonight as well. And also some warranty changes too, which I'd like all your feedback on as well tonight, ladies and gentlemen who are watching. So thank you for joining us live tonight. So let's go through right now. I might read through this article from The Driven, who summarized the Atto 3 servicing schedule very well today in the article. So let's go through it. So EV customers say they may cancel BYD Atto 3 orders after servicing schedule revealed. Speaking of which, there's a poll tonight as well, so make sure you hit the poll. We've got three options for the question tonight. In light of the Atto 3 servicing schedule and updated warranty in Australia, please choose one of the following. I will keep my existing order. I'll be cancelling my order. I will be placing an order. So make sure you select one of those three, and we'll see what happens tonight after that. Okay, so let's read through it real quick. Numerous aspiring EV owners await the arrival of their BYD Atto 3, have expressed their disappointment at the revelation of a rigorous servicing schedule, which includes a number of items under a shorter warranty. Some have even said they will cancel their orders, comparing the service schedule to that of a new combustion engine car. They're the pricing there, and deliveries are due to commence later this week. The China-based car maker is a new entrant to Australia, and to assure potential customers of its trustworthiness has cut deals with established networks for servicing, handover and maintenance. These include MyCar to train technicians at 30 workshops to conduct logbook servicing, and with Eager Automotives to develop a collaborative approach to experience centres, maintenance and parts. In total, there are now around 50 locations that will act as service centres, with more to come. Okay, so with many more than 4,000 customers have ordered the Atto 3 almost sight unseen, and none to date that we are aware of have taken a test drive, at least in Australia. It has now been revealed that the vehicle and battery warranty terms differ from previous statements on the company's website. In July, the evdirect.com.au website stated that the Atto 3 came with a 7-year warranty for both the vehicle and battery, and that conditions exclusions apply. That URL now redirects to BYD Automotive, as I said, and a tab on the servicing page states that BYD is proud to offer Australian drivers a robust traction battery, 8 years or 160,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first, and a vehicle warranty, 6 years or 150,000 kilometres, whichever comes first. So there you go, 8 years for battery and 6 years for the actual vehicle itself. I suppose 8 plus 6 divided by 2 is 7, so I suppose 7 is kind of accurate there. We'll go through that a bit later on. Many items have far shorter warranty periods, however, including a 3-year warranty for the multimedia system and other items as listed below. So there is a table there. People received this, I think, in an email this week, and I think you can also find this on the website as well. So multimedia system right there, that's what the article refers to, is now 3 years or 60,000 kilometres. Traction batteries, 8 years. Drive unit, 8 years. Other things there, as you can see right there. Servicing schedule is released by the company, reveals one complimentary service at 5,000 kilometres or 3 months, and then a rotating minor and major service every 12 months or 20,000 kilometres. And these are the prices here. So they range between $190 and $37.07 for the odd years, I guess, 1, 3, 5, 7. And then they range between $504 and $661 on the even years. So there you go, 504, 661, 504, 661. Totaling around $31,000, $3,100 over 8 years. On average, that works out to be about $350 per annum. There's been no service schedule published yet that we've been able to source, and we will update this article if this emerges. So then the article goes on to say that yes, servicing costs should be reduced because EVs have less moving parts than combustion vehicles. and then goes on to quote some comments from social media posts and comments. So pretty outrageous. I think this is a deal breaker for me, said one. Ouch, someone's making dollars on servicing, said another. I would have thought service charges would have been way less than ICE cars. Looks like a bit of a rip-off to me, said a third. Some said they will be cancelling their orders. If you've just joined us, welcome, of course. Make sure you hit that poll tonight. We are talking Byd Atto 3 servicing schedule and warranty changes. Make sure you make your voice heard in the poll. These prices are out of proportion to the service required for BEVs, said 1 out of 3 customer. It is the result of the need to reimburse a third-party servicing agent, something no other EV vendor needs to do. We'll cancel our order. So Luke Todd did speak to The Driven, and his response was, what's really important to know is that at this moment, what EV Direct and Eagers and MyCar have done is invested in Australia's largest EV qualified servicing network. We've done something that's never been done before. We want to expand to 300 sites in the next 5 years. We want people to have premium quality servicing. It's a strategic plan that's been in place for some time. It's all about getting the customer the best possible experience. That's a very good thing. We think in time people will realize how valuable that is. Works out to be about $350 a year, like I said, which is actually a very reasonable rate. Yes, it's true, that's not as many parts, but safety and quality still remain our number one priority. Okay, so BYD Global launched its regional warranty policy. They want to align with the regional policy for BYD. Probably the one important thing is that it gives us an extra year on the battery, yes. And then it goes on, this article goes on to talk about MGZS EV's servicing schedule, capped at $268 every 20,000 kilometers, and then $807 at 96 months. And then, of course, Tesla does not actually have a servicing schedule. That I can vouch for, being a Tesla owner, but of course there are recommendations on the website on things like changing the cabin filter, brake fluid, and of course if there's a problem you can always log an appointment on the Tesla app as well. So we shall see what BYD in Australia do with regards to logging a service call on the app, or whether you've got a call up as well. Gents, I'll open up to you, Riz and Rahul, about that. Now, I just want to say one thing. I haven't actually owned an ICE car in a while, so to me, these prices don't seem too bad, I think, just compared to what we used to have. But of course, possibly the expectations of people were that it would not require a scheduled servicing. I think that's where the confusion may have come about in the last couple of days. Rahul, thoughts, given that you had actually had BYD on order?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Look, I feel for some of the owners there who obviously, deciding on perhaps cancelling their order or putting their orders on hold. I think while the overall cost may work out to be cheaper over the long run, which I think you mentioned about $350 a year, I think it's just the lateness of the information coupled with the fact that the deliveries have been delayed. And I guess a lot of people have not test driven the cars either. I just feel like that smacks off, not a great customer service experience, in my opinion. I think at one stage, Angela and I were looking at getting 2 BYDs for the price of, I guess, the one Model Y. Thinking back on it now, probably glad that we cancelled the order, because we would have had to pay 2 servicing charges for those 2 cars, I guess. And going back to Tesla as well, I've had cars serviced at Tesla in Richmond before. They take good care of your car. They throw in a lot of, I wouldn't say freebies, but they throw in a lot of, bonuses for you. I remember once going there, not having my Tesla key card. They just got one for me, then charged me for it. Proper servicing, everything's logged in, everything's responded to via the app, done very, very quickly. I guess the pros with BYD having 50 plus places where you can go and service, you've got peace of mind that your car's going to get looked after, but it just smacks of not very good customer service, in my opinion.
Thank you, Rahul. Riz, thoughts?
I think these are just, in some ways, I agree that, as Raul's saying, that it's the timing of this information and the way it's delivered. I really think that, there's misconceptions around servicing in general. It's been like that in the petrol and diesel world. With cap price servicing, it's never what they say it is. You always end up paying more for parts if you take it back to the dealer anyway. So what do most people do? They will take it to the dealer for the first couple of years, and then they'll just take it to their own trusted mechanic that can do a logbook servicing. I really think that this is probably the path that most BYD Atto 3 owners will go down. So the cost or the prices being paid at the moment are not really it's just initial shock. I think once things start to settle down, and even for I guess BYD Australia, for them to learn from the same thing, it may not actually cost people the same amount of money, or it may not cost them to service the cars as much. It's the right thing to do to pass down any cost savings that they realize later on. Whether they do or not too sure what their agreements are with their dealer network, which is a good thing. You'd rather have 50 locations around the country that you can take it to. Other manufacturers have taken many, many years to build that type of a network. One of the main reasons Toyota sells so well is their dealer network is pretty much everywhere, and they've invested, over decades, hundreds of millions of dollars to establish that. So once we get past the initial sort of teething issues, I think most people on the Facebook groups and other places will share their experience of what's actually required at year 2. And just like anything else, we'll ask the question, I've got tires I want to replace, where should I go? Then people will be sharing that knowledge and saying, hey, you can go to the dealer. It's going to cost you, $1,200 to get 4 new tires on, or you can go to your local, I don't know, My Car, and get it done for $600 or $650 at a Black Friday sale. So it's sort of that sharing thing will happen. Short term, I think there is a bit of a shock, but long term, I think you still save a lot of money. Like, imagine filling up petrol, at a Bowser, and you pay $100 versus $10 or $15 to charge it when you want to charge it. Servicing costs can be managed later on. At least the upfront cost is a lot more manageable compared to other EVs.
Yep. No, great points from Riz and also Rahul. Thank you, gents. I was going to say something, but then this comment came up, and that's basically summarizing what I wanted to say. And End the Weekend says, question becomes, if you don't get the car service, is the warranty void completely, or do they write the warrants around what wasn't serviced? Generally what happens with ICE cars. And that's something I thought of today. If you don't follow the schedule and go to a My Car or Eagers to follow it, does it void the warranty? Is it tied to the warranty? Is getting a logbook service somewhere else okay as well? So I don't think that's quite clear yet in the documents I've seen. So that will be something that BYD in Australia will have to clear up, I think.
Just on that one, having dealt with a lot of ICE car ownership experiences in the past, every manufacturer is obliged to basically cover the warranty period regardless of where the end consumer ends up servicing it. That my understanding is you can service it at any authorized mechanic. When I say authorized, it's not BYD certified. It can be any authorized mechanic that does logbook servicing. And if it's in the logbook that it was serviced at 40,000 or under 40,000 Ks at year 2, then it's considered a real service. So if something does happen in the 6, 7, or whatever year warranty period it is, it's still covered under, if the manufacturer doesn't cover it, then consumer law protects you.
Yeah, no, good point. I just wonder where, apart from My Car, obviously, who's got a relationship with BYD, where can people go? And whether other places have got like an EV, I guess, schedule. What are they going to do? Like, will it be the same price? That's what I'm trying to say. Or will it be more expensive than what My Car are offering here? Or rather BYD is offering here? Interesting.
Generally speaking, most mechanics will be able to. I know there's some intricacies with EVs. Don't get me wrong. We know there is something that mechanics will get training on EVs. The fundamentals of the car are the same. The stuff that they need to replace, repair, that's replaceable. whether it's wiper blades, whether it's 12-volt batteries, whether it's whatever it is, in the manual or in the workshop manuals, that should all be covered. And I think mechanics will get training on that. If they're not sure of something, generally what a mechanic would do is they can, with the traditional manufacturers, they can ring the manufacturer and ask to speak to someone who is a workshop specialist to ask them any questions that they may not be sure of. So a good mechanic will do that to not only increase their knowledge, but also to look after the customers who have purchased that vehicle. So any authorized mechanic, in my experience, should be able to do most of those things. I can't imagine there being anything software related. Then yes, that's not something that a mechanic can do. But apart from that, most other things, an average mechanic who looks after ICE cars, who does logbook servicing, should be able to cover that. And BYD Australia has to honor that as part of the consumer law.
Yep. No, good point. I'll just put this comment here from Gary. It says BYD needs to show the actual schedule and the items being replaced, inspected for each interval. You'd hope they would. Price seems high when no engine oil or filter change is required. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that schedule in a year's time when people get their first service. See what's on that list, that invoice. Christian is saying, I just had my S3 serviced, $1,500 at my mechanic, quoted $2,000 at an Audi dealership. So there you go. As I was saying before, it just seems like a good price, even despite, yes, there may not be much to do, but compared to what I've seen for ICE cars, it still seems pretty good value. Yeah. Now, let's see. So
Jeff's got a comment there as well, Tom, where he's comparing maintenance service costs in China for Atto 3 converted to Australian dollars. And yeah, just going back to Gary's comment there as well. I mean, if there's no engine oil or filter change required, why is the alternate year servicing cost so high compared to the odd or the even years of the $190 as opposed to $500 to $600? Yes, I guess clarification is needed from BYD. And I think I read somewhere as well, like, it's not an initial shock. It's a rip-off, which, yeah, to be honest, I'm leaning more towards that.
Yeah.
Look, I do understand that the car is priced really, really well at an entry level for a lot of Australians to get into the EV market. But yeah, some clarification is needed from BYD around the servicing costs.
And I'll just give, look, all three of us here are Tesla owners, myself, Rahul, and Riz. I'll give my experience of our Model 3. It's still under warranty, so I appreciate that. But the 2 times I've actually paid for service is to have our cabin filter changed. And the Tesla does recommend every 2 years for Model 3 to get that changed. So 3 years, done that twice. It wasn't much, about $100 mark each time. So that's kind of the Tesla pricing at the moment, if you could say, for servicing. And of course, like I said, if you have an issue, you can always log it with the app. They'll either fix it for you remotely, or you go in and they'll look after you from that point of view. But you don't have to necessarily bring it in every year to get whatever done. I know we joke about it all the time amongst Tesla owners. You look at the water, top up for the washer fluid. That's pretty much it for service. Look, obviously there's some more moving parts under there, but so far so good. Even with our Model S, very, very few issues from the powertrain point of view anyway. So let's chat a bit about the warranty, actually, because this has also caused a bit of a stir as well. So let's pop that on. Okay, so this has taken a few people by surprise as well, because as I read earlier, 7 years was what they first quoted when the orders were first available. Now it's 8 years for the traction battery and drive unit, and then the rest are sort of different ages as well. What do you guys think about the multimedia system? 3 years. That's thrown some people off.
So in the Tesla, right? My understanding of the screen is it's your standard car warranty, which I think for Tesla is a 4-year warranty. So if you compare it to a Tesla Model 3, if the screen goes off just after 4 years, I would suspect that you'd have to pay for it yourself. And 3 years seems a little bit on the low end for an infotainment screen, but across the industry, generally speaking, the screens are, yeah, 3 to 5 years is probably the right sort of time frame. And then I guess a little bit around transparency. What would it cost to replace a screen?
I could tell you, because we had our screen replaced.
Yes.
So our Model S, we upgraded from MCU1 to MCU2, and it was $4,000 from the start, and then they reduced the price to $2,500 a few months later.
Yeah.
And I would think it hopefully would cost the same for the BYD.
Yeah, and I think once again it's a smaller screen on the BYD from what I understand. Yeah, I'd say 3 years is lower on the lower end. Like 4 years would have been good if it was the same as the general vehicle lighting system. But yeah, 3 years, it's a bit on the low end. But yeah, I guess time will tell.
Here's a good point from Gary. Why is there a release bearing? There is no clutch. Thank you, Gary. Interesting. Don't know. We'll have to find out when we get the invoice. If someone, no, that wouldn't be fixed. That's not under servicing. That's the warrant. Okay. Yeah, good point though. Yeah, Jeff's saying multimedia is too low at 3 years. And yeah, I think we sort of covered that with Dom. How does the warranty compare with other EV companies? What did Tesla give? Yeah, 4 years. 4 years for the car. Yeah, as we mentioned. Yeah, there you go.
And I also think that generally with cars, manufacturers are quite scared of getting bad PR and ACCC getting involved in some warranty issues, class actions, and other things. So generally speaking, the manufacturers will try and do the right thing. Let's say if a screen gives way after 3.5 years. I know according to the warranty, they may say, look, well, it's out of warranty. But having said that, they could meet halfway. If the screen costs $2,000, they could say, $4,000 after 3.5 years, we think it's the right thing to do. But you never know, because to them it could become a bigger PR issue than it needs to be if they can sort of control it at a more localized level, because not all screens are going to fail after 3.5 years. It's generally with the thinking back to my engineering days, the failure curve looks like 3 to 6 months after a new product is released. That's when they have, I think, 80% of the failures. So if it goes past that period of time, generally speaking, very little can go wrong with these things these days.
Yep. Good point. Here's a question from Sensei. If someone can verify this, is it true that the first batch of Atto 3s in Australia, there is no mapping software, no GPS, which means there'll be no official AU safety rating? I sat in the car in Indooroopilly in Brisbane. I couldn't see a map at that stage. I thought it might have been because it's in showroom mode, but of course we'll have to verify that when deliveries take place next week. Yep. Greg's saying Model 3 screen is only $1,300 US, which, yeah, about $2,000 Australia. 2.5 for my Model S screen, so sounds about right. Yep. And Greg is saying, yes, the factory warranty is pointless in Australia, as you already said, consumer law will cover that. Yeah, I guess you can argue a lot of things with ACL, can't you? But yeah, we'll see what happens. Scott's also saying no sat-nav software, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto when it comes. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, right.
Just see Taylor's comment.
BYD gives you a free UBD. Taylor, being cheeky there. Someone on Facebook purchased a 15-inch screen to replace the 12.8-inch screen for BYD China. It cost $700.
I saw that. That was pretty cool because I think in China some of the higher end models of the Atto 3 or Yuan Plus come with that larger screen.
Mm.
So I guess it would, I don't advise you doing it without sort of getting confirmation or getting it done by a specialist, but I'd say a screen replacement would just be pop out and pop in type of a situation, given the pins and the connectors should be the same. So that's pretty affordable.
Mm. $700, yeah. 700 Aussie, I assume, or US even. It's not too bad. Yeah. Thank you, Brock. Let me just see if there's any other comments here. So, Peter's our resident Model 3 Uber driver, and Atto 3 is ineligible for Uber as it isn't 5-star ANCAP yet. So that's a good point there, Peter.
I've heard the same situation around fleet purchases where councils won't look at anything that's not a 5-star ANCAP rated car. And I think that generally novated lease companies are similar in some ways. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. I heard there's some process currently going on in Europe somewhere to get BYD Euro NCAP tested. But I guess we'll see.
You would think that would be an inevitability, right? They would want to open it to the European market, you would think. So
Yeah,
it should happen.
and also in some ways, if the BYD local team delivered cars for ANCAP testing and they were crashed, a lot of people will be unhappy because they haven't even had a chance to test drive one yet. So
Also true. Jez comes through. Thank you, Jez. Waiting for the Ludicrous Feed Blue Performance Model Y delivery video. Yes, it's coming. Well, I don't have a delivery date yet, but it is coming, I guess. I'm starting to go with pineapple sliced short of pina colada. Stir crazy. Hang in there, Jez. Hang in there. Thank you for the pledge. It's good. You've just joined us, welcome. You can always watch us on replay, of course, but we are keeping tonight's stream short and sweet. We just wanted to quickly chat about the BYD, the servicing schedule that was released last 24 hours, and also the warranty updates as well. It's taken some people by surprise. And we are running a poll tonight. We're past 110 votes. That's a pretty good sample size. And the question is, in light of the Atto 3 servicing schedule and updated warranty in Australia, please choose one of the following. Number 1, I will keep my existing order. 2, I will be cancelling my order. And 3, I will place an order. And unfortunately, I will be cancelling my order has the majority at the moment at 57% after 116 votes. So hang in there. I've got 2 more minutes of the stream left, so keep voting before we close the poll. Yeah.
Just a quick point there, Tom, with regards to the poll. Obviously for a lot of people, a bit of a shock to the system. I think it's always best to think through decisions with a cool head. Sleep tonight, have a think about it, reach out to BYD, try and get some information about some of the things that are concerning you. Or you're unsure about, so you get a little bit more clarity before you make a decision about cancelling your order. Because I was talking to Angela earlier today, my partner, and saying if you do cancel your order, you'll be looking at getting another car, which I think is not going to be the entry-level price of BYD. It's probably looking at about another 10, 15, maybe perhaps $20,000 additional. And then also the prolonged wait in getting some of the other models, apart from, say, the Tesla Model 3 or the Tesla Model Y, which are now sort of starting to come in a little bit more into Australia. But yeah, in terms of Polestar or Hyundai Ioniq 5, you're going to be struggling to get an EV in your hands in the next 6 months. So yeah, for anyone out there just thinking about cancelling, perhaps just hold off, have a chat to BYD, get some clarity, and then make a decision.
No, that's a very good point, Raoul. And also, I mean, the other cars like the other. Sorry, Rich, just quickly. The other cars like I think Hyundai's got a servicing schedule too, so does Kia for their respective cars. MG do as well. So it's not unique to a non-Tesla EV. Just keep that in mind before you do anything rash. Sorry, Riz, go on.
No, it's all good, Tom. It's very similar. It's exactly what you just said, what I was thinking, which is the Kia EV6. Last time I checked, it was well over $1,000 over 5 years. Partially, I feel with Kia and Hyundai, it's always generally been to keep their dealer network happy. I don't think this is what the intention here has been. I just think it's the lack of information that I think will come out in the coming weeks. It's just that initially it's the case where we just don't know what's happening. And then people will do their own comparisons, whether you compare it to other markets where what their service schedule for the Atto 3 looks like. And then if you present it, with sort of a reasonable sort of comparison to BYD, I'm sure they'll be willing to listen. And I think that one other thing on the back of what just Rahul mentioned, next month, September, fuel excise reduction comes off. So my understanding is I think it was 20 cents, so somewhere around there per liter for fuel. If that comes off, then I guess fuel will be going up by at least 10%. So it's just something worth considering, that you'll be paying more for fuel in the coming months versus receiving an Atto 3 where you hopefully won't have to go to a petrol station, unless it's to get a cheap coffee, which has also gone up. 7-Eleven now, it's $2 for the cheapest coffee.
What?
Seriously, from October the 4th.
That's a rip-off for machine coffee. Not servicing. What a scam. Thank you, Stuart Dunkov, for the $2.99 pledge. Appreciate that. And we'll just finish off with Sam's comment here. $5. Thank you, Sam. How are apartment buildings in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, etc. taking action to install EV chargers? It seems so far away. Stop me getting an EV. Yeah, retrofitting is difficult, but I think new buildings should be, I reckon, mandated to have EV chargers installed. Speaking of which, we are talking to the New South Wales government next week on our regular Thursday live stream, so we will ask them that question. I think that'll be very interesting to hear what they have to say about apartment buildings and strata in general. Let me close the poll real quick. We are up to the half an hour mark, so thank you everyone for participating tonight. Let's end it right now. 133 votes, fantastic. That's great feedback for EV Direct or BYD Automotive. Question tonight was, in light of the Atto 3 servicing schedule and updated warranty in Australia, please choose one of the following. 56% of you said I will be cancelling my order. 36% said I will be keeping my order. And 6% said I will be placing an order. So there you go. Over half of you are saying you want to cancel your order based on that news. That's not good for BYD, unfortunately, but the stats don't lie, so we'll see what happens. Gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. Rahul and Riz, thank you very much for your time on a Tuesday. Nice to see you both.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Rahul.
Most welcome, Tom. Just a couple of quick pointers. Somebody just asked a question there. Is the service capped price or subject to change? Obviously, if you've got an order there, please clarify with BYD. Let us know if you can. And I believe somebody else also mentioned that there's a lot of newish Model 3s coming on the market as well if you're looking at cancelling your BYD order. Rest assured there's more EVs coming into the market.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that on the regular Thursday stream in a couple of days' time, titled Affordable EVs in Australia in 2022. So I'm sure Riz will have more stats for us then as well.
That's it. And just on affordable EVs, there's been a price drop on a Model 3 Performance. 3 weeks ago, it was $138,000 on car sales. It's dropped to $115,000. Putting it out there, you might be able to get 2.5 BYD Atto 3s, including the servicing plan. But with this one, 115,000 is a bargain.
115 grand, people. No servicing schedule, but that's the price for a brand new, very, very late Model 3. That's almost brand new. All right, gents, have a good night. And also thank you everyone for joining us tonight as well in the live chat. Very nice of you to join us on Tuesday night. 250 viewers already. And of course, hello on replay. Make sure you leave a comment below as well if we didn't answer anything tonight as well. All right, I'm going to end the stream right now. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you on Thursday night. Take care, everyone. Bye now.